Partnerships, right. So they're kind of a funny thing, especially in a world that's all about what's hot this second and gone the next.
We got that right.
But then you have those really special ones that, well, they buck the trend. And honestly, they make you realize that sometimes connection and shared values can actually outlast even the craziest fads. And today we're going to look at one of those truly enduring partnerships, the one between Michael Kors and Lance Lepere.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, they've built this incredible life together right in the middle of the whirlwind that is the fashion world. And we're going to do a deep dive into how their relationship has not just survived, but actually thrived over the years.
Exactly. It's not just surviving, it's thriving. And that's where things get really interesting. We had a chance to really dig into the details of their journey together, from that very first meeting to the incredibly interwoven lives they share today. And for me, what really jumps out is how much we can all learn from their story.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, think about it. Whether you're starting a business with someone, putting your heart into a long-term friendship, or navigating the whole complicated world of a serious relationship.
Yeah, it's all connected.
This deep dive into Michael and Lance's journey, it just offers so much insight into connection, shared values, and really figuring out how to build a life with someone in a way that feels meaningful.
Well said. And a great place to start is right at the beginning. Our source material drops us right into this bustling Manhattan fashion event.
Oh, I can just picture it.
Right. And that's where Michael and Lance first cross paths. What's fascinating is how the text describes this immediate connection driven by a shared admiration for creativity and style. It's like they were just on the same wavelength from the get-go.
It wasn't just a quick hello in a crowded room, was it?
Not at all. The text makes it clear there was this spark. And I think that brings up a really interesting question. What do you think creates those instant connections between people? Like, what's that magic ingredient?
That's a good one. It's almost like recognizing a kindred spirit, You just kind of sense that you see the world in a similar way. And from there, the text goes on to tell us how that first meeting blossomed into something deeper, a real friendship rooted in mutual respect and inspiration. It wasn't just about surface-level stuff. They genuinely valued each other's minds and talents.
It really shows that a solid foundation of friendship can be so important. It creates this amazing space for deeper connections to develop. And that's exactly what happened. The text highlights how their bond grew stronger through all these shared discussions about art, design, and just, life's possibilities.
Oh, I love that. Just talking about everything and anything.
Yeah, like really deep stuff. And get this, the source mentions that they spoke the same language when it came to ideas about beauty and authenticity. It's like they were on the same page.
That's so interesting. Because I feel like that idea of speaking the same language happens when you share core values,
Yeah.
And you have this fundamental understanding of each other's aesthetics, each other's purpose. It goes beyond just liking the same things.
Exactly. It's deeper. And, for our listeners out there, think about the relationships where you feel truly understood. What are those foundational beliefs that you share with those people?
Such a good point. And the text really brings this incredible synergy to life. It talks about how much they enjoyed inspiring one another, bouncing ideas off each other during brainstorming sessions, or getting excited about art they'd seen in galleries. It's clear that this back and forth, this shared vision, was absolutely key in cementing their bond.
It was. If we zoom out a bit, and look at the bigger picture, it makes you realize how vital a shared purpose or vision can be in any long-term partnership, whether it's romantic or professional. It's that mutual drive, that constant source of inspiration that keeps you connected and keeps you both growing. So I'm curious, when you think about successful partnerships, the ones you've seen that really work, how do you see that idea of shared vision playing out?
I think of it as a compass. It's like you're both pointing in the same direction, even if you're not on the exact same path. You're aligned on values, on what you hope to achieve. It's a powerful thing. And speaking of powerful things, the way their story evolves next is just, well, it's really something. That strong friendship they built, it starts to shift.
Yeah, in the most natural way. It's so beautifully described in the text, how amidst the craziness of their careers, this quiet romance just begins to unfold. There weren't any grand gestures or sudden shifts, just a gradual deepening of their connection through these everyday moments that were also really intimate, like snowy strolls in Central Park or cozy evenings at home.
It's funny, because in a way, it's so normal. But at the same time, you have these two huge figures in the fashion world finding connection in the most ordinary human moments. It's endearing, isn't it?
It's totally relatable, and the text really drives that home, emphasizing that it simply happened naturally, that their love developed through laughter, trust, and unwavering support. That, to me, speaks to true compatibility, the kind that's not forced or manufactured.
Yeah, it just is. It's a beautiful thing. And it highlights something really important, doesn't it?
Uh,
Maybe the most enduring relationships are actually the ones built on genuine comfort and ease with each other.
Right. Like you can just be yourselves totally. And that's where laughter, trust, and unwavering support come in. Those are the real foundations. And, for our listeners, it's worth taking a moment to consider, how are these elements being nurtured in your own relationships? The ones that are truly important to you.
Now, here's where things get even more interesting. They're both in the public eye, constantly. That adds this whole other level of complexity. And the text touches on this, the challenges they faced in trying to find a balance between their personal lives and their very public roles in fashion. I mean, how do you navigate that kind of constant scrutiny? How do you stay grounded?
Well, from what we gather, their approach seems to have been all about quiet strength and really prioritizing their privacy. The text specifically highlights their choice of subtlety over spectacle when it came to dealing with the endless gossip and speculation in the tabloids.
So they basically shut it out, ignored it all.
In a way, yeah, they focused on their own world, their connection, and let their work do the talking. And that raises a fascinating point, don't you think? In a world that's so obsessed with public display, could prioritizing privacy actually be a way to make a bond even stronger?
I love that. It's like you're consciously choosing to protect something precious. And it seems their approach really resonated with people. The text mentions how much their friends and colleagues admired their ability to stay centered amidst all the chaos.
Right. Which totally reinforces this idea that true love thrives not in the spotlight, but in those quiet moments away from it. And those quiet moments lead us to a huge turning point in their story, the proposal.
Ah, yes. The moment it all becomes official.
Right. And this happens in early 2011. The text describes Michael's decision to propose as this pivotal moment. And what really stands out to me is the sheer intentionality and care he put into it. It was this meticulously planned and incredibly heartfelt proposal set in the Hamptons with the golden sunlight bathing everything.
It sounds idyllic.
It does. The text paints such a vivid picture. You can just feel how personal and significant this moment was for them both.
What do you think it is about a proposal that makes it so impactful? Like, why is that moment so resonant for couples? For me, it's the symbolism of it all, right? It's this outward declaration of an inward commitment that's already been made. And the text really captures the emotion of that moment. It says, tears of joy flowed freely when Lance said yes. It's beautiful. And then you have this beautiful image of them together, embarking on a more defined path, a shared journey with a promise to stand by each other through life's highs and lows.
Absolutely. And from there, the story shifts to their wedding planning, which honestly offers another fascinating glimpse into their dynamic. The text calls it an artistic collaboration, which makes perfect sense considering their backgrounds. It wasn't just about checking things off a list. It was a chance for them to express their shared vision and their commitment to doing things with excellence.
That makes so much sense. For our listener, think about how you and your partner approach projects together, whether it's planning a trip or even something simpler. Is it a collaborative process?
Yeah, that's a good one to ponder. In Michael and Lance's case, it wasn't just about logistics. It was an extension of their shared aesthetic, their love for design. The text even gives specific examples, like how much care they put into designing custom outfits and curating the perfect floral arrangements.
Like their own personal runway show.
Exactly. It was all infused with their combined sensibilities. And the result, as the text puts it, was a celebration that beautifully blended timeless elegance with modern flair. It perfectly captured who they were, both as individuals and as a couple. And, speaking of their world, we can't overlook the role that their community played in all of this. It's something the text really emphasizes. How important do you think that external support is for a couple, especially when they're navigating a big life change like getting married?
Oh, I think it's huge. Having those people around you, the ones who love and support you, it's like a safety net. And the text really highlights how their inner circle provided that unwavering support and love throughout the whole process. Like the rehearsal dinner is described as this amazing scene with laughter and heartfelt speeches, this real sense of their communities coming together.
Yes. It's not just two people joining their lives, it's their whole world embracing each other. And there's this really insightful observation from the text, how people close to them saw that Michael and Lance brought out the best in each other.
That's powerful external validation, right? It speaks volumes about the positive impact the relationship had, not just on each other, but on everyone around them.
It's inspiring. But then even amidst all this joy and excitement, the text does something really important.
Hmm?
It acknowledges those natural doubts that can creep in.
Right. Like even with the strongest connection, a bit of uncertainty can happen. It's totally human, totally relatable. Totally. And the text talks about those anxieties, the ones about balancing their super demanding careers with married life, wondering if things would change between them. It describes these candid, so intimate and vulnerable. What can we learn from their willingness to be so open and honest with each other, even when they were feeling a little unsure?
I think it's a powerful reminder that open communication is absolutely essential in any relationship. By facing those fears together, they were able to reaffirm their commitment and realize that their doubts shouldn't stop them from pursuing something so meaningful. It's a great lesson for all of us. Sometimes those vulnerable moments can actually make the bond stronger, It's about navigating those uncertainties together.
Exactly. And then finally, the big day arrives, their wedding day. And the way it's described is just magical. The setting, the people they loved surrounding them, exchanging vows filled with sincerity and promise. You can just feel how personal and meaningful the whole ceremony was.
Yes, it's beautiful. It wasn't about putting on a show. It was a real testament to their journey and the love they shared.
Right. The text emphasizes the simplicity and the profundity of it all. It's about the commitment they made to each other.
And then, of course, you have the celebrations. The text describes champagne toasts, dancing under fairy lights, and fireworks. Just this incredible outpouring of joy and support for this couple who had built something truly special. It's a reminder that love deserves to be celebrated, don't you think?
Absolutely. It's beautiful. The text talks about their contagious happiness, the heartfelt speeches. It really captures that sense of their love, style, and partnership unlike any other. And it's a moment where all their hopes and dreams and all that planning finally culminated in pure joy.
It is. And after all that excitement, they head off on their honeymoon, a period of relaxation and romance in these amazing locations. Tropical beaches, charming European streets. It sounds like a much-needed chance to just reconnect as a couple and solidify their bond away from all the pressures of their everyday lives. So I'm curious, why do you think that dedicated time together is so crucial, especially after such a big event?
I think it's like pressing pause. You come down from the high of planning and celebrating, and you get to go back to just being with each other, savoring that newlywed bliss. And the text talks about quiet mornings, reading side by side, and candlelit dinners.
Those are the moments that really matter, aren't they?
Exactly. And the honeymoon becomes this chance to create new shared memories and really invest in their connection. But then, as the text reminds us, real life always comes calling. It's back to the grind, the busy schedules, and the ongoing challenge of balancing their high-profile careers with their married life.
Right, the honeymoon can't last forever.
It takes effort, doesn't it? It takes compromise. Maintaining a strong relationship, especially when you factor in their demanding lives, it's not something that just happens on its own.
No, it requires conscious effort, mutual understanding, and a real willingness to navigate the ups and downs together. And I think that's something that really impressed people who knew them. The text mentions how colleagues admired their ability to keep their partnership strong despite all the demands on their time. It's a balancing act.
It is. And it seems that getting married brought about a real shift in how they defined success. It wasn't just about professional achievements anymore. It was about building a meaningful life together.
You're right.
The text talks about their late-night conversations about purpose and connection. It really highlights how their perspective had evolved. So what do you think causes that kind of internal shift? What makes people reevaluate what truly matters when they deepen their commitment to each other?
I think it's the realization that true fulfillment often comes not just from what you accomplish on your own, but from sharing your life with someone you deeply care about. It's about supporting each other's dreams while nurturing your bond.
It's beautiful.
It is, and they really embodied that, this idea of living beautifully, not just outwardly, but inwardly. But of course, as the text honestly acknowledges, no relationship is perfect. They face their share of hurdles along the way. Disagreements, career pressures, societal expectations.
That's real life, isn't it?
It is, and it's a good reminder that even the strongest couples go through tough times.
For sure. So how important is it to acknowledge those challenges?
Yeah.
To admit that things aren't always easy. Does that actually make a relationship stronger?
I think it's crucial. The text really emphasizes their resilience, how they work through those challenges with tough conversations and unwavering dedication. It shows that overcoming obstacles together isn't a sign of weakness. It's an opportunity to grow closer, to deepen the connection.
I love that. And so here they are today, all these years later. The text describes them as timeless symbols of grace and authenticity. And it's funny because when I read that, the image that popped into my head was them just walking hand in hand through Paris.
Oh, that's perfect. It really captures the essence of their enduring love and partnership.
It does. And it just reinforces that idea that deep, genuine connections can truly stand the test of time.
They can. And as the text so beautifully concludes, their story is proof that true love transcends trends. It thrives on courage, effort, and an unbreakable connection. In a world that's often fixated on superficial things, Michael and Lance remind us that real style lies in authenticity, vulnerability, and the enduring power of love.
That's so well said. It's a powerful reminder that lasting relationships are built on something real, something deeper than fleeting trends.
They are.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Michael and Lance's journey, let's recap some of the key takeaways. First, remember the power of a shared vision. That alignment is crucial.
It's like your North Star.
Then there's open communication and mutual support, essential tools for navigating the challenges of public life and personal obstacles. And finally, that shift in focus, recognizing that building a meaningful life together is the truest measure of success.
So true. And for our listener, here's something to think about. As you reflect on Michael and Lance's journey, what resonates most with you? Is it their dedication to shared creative values, or maybe their commitment to handling public life with such grace and intention? How can you apply those insights to your own relationships, whether romantic, professional, or those deep friendships that mean the world to you?
That is such a great question. It's all about taking these beautiful, inspiring stories and finding ways to weave those lessons into our own lives. Because ultimately, what their story really underscores is the enduring power of genuine connection, the importance of shared purpose, and the ongoing effort it takes to truly nurture the relationships that enrich our lives.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. We'll see you next time.